What if the reason you feel lost is because you're not supposed to be thinking your way through life? What if your mind was never meant to lead? There's something inside you, quiet, constant. It's been guiding you all along, but it's not loud. It doesn't speak in words or logic. It speaks in feelings, in instinct, in knowing. You call it intuition, inner voice, a gut feeling. But that's not what it is. That's your soul, the part of you that existed before you were born and will continue long after you're gone. You've been taught to trust your plans, to calculate your next move, to think it through. But planning only works when you already know the destination. The soul doesn't work like that. The soul pulls you, gently, through curiosity, through longing, through the things you can't explain but can't ignore. But most people don't. Listen, they're too busy chasing what the world says they should want. They silence their soul with noise, and then wonder why life feels hollow. Here's the paradox. You've always known where you're going, but your thoughts have been too loud to hear it. The Greeks had a word for it, anamnesis. It means to remember, but not just anything. To remember something your soul already knows. Plato believed the soul existed before this life, and that learning isn't discovering something new, but remembering something ancient, something buried deep inside you. And maybe you've felt it. That strange familiarity when you go somewhere you've never been, but it feels like home. That moment when you meet someone and feel like you've known them for lifetimes. That sudden clarity in the middle of chaos that says, go this way. What if that isn't imagination? What if it's remembrance? Ancient Eastern traditions say the soul carries memory across lifetimes. Not memory like names or dates, but purpose, direction, calling. You aren't wandering, you're being led by something timeless inside you. And that deep pull you feel towards certain paths, certain people, certain decisions, that's not randomness. That's alignment. You're not here to figure it all out. You're here to remember who you are and follow the thread you've been weaving through lifetimes. But here's where it all falls apart. The mind doesn't like mystery. It fears what it can't control. And the soul? It doesn't come with instructions. So the mind resists. You start to doubt your instincts. You second-guess the path that feels right because it doesn't look right. You try to be practical, responsible, logical, and every time you do that, you move a little further away from yourself. Carl Jung spoke of the self, the deeper totality of who we are beneath the mask of the ego. He said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." But most of us never look inside. We're too busy chasing things that were never meant for us, wondering why nothing feels fulfilling. Because here's the truth. The soul doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you never learn to quiet your mind, you'll never hear it. The ego wants comfort. The soul wants truth. And truth is rarely comfortable. But here's how you know it's your soul speaking. You feel scared, but you also feel still. You feel uncertain, but somehow peaceful. Because your soul doesn't lead you to comfort. It leads you to alignment. The soul speaks in symbols, not sentences. It doesn't explain. It hints. A dream that shakes you awake. A sudden synchronicity that feels like more than coincidence. A message that finds you exactly when you need it. You think it's chance, but it's not. The universe is always speaking, through patterns, signs, and subtle nudges. But we've been trained to ignore what we can't measure. In ancient times, people lived by these signs. They read the stars, studied dreams, followed omens. Not out of superstition, but because they knew the soul's language is not logical. It's mythical. Think about it. Hasn't your life already been shaped by moments you couldn't explain? That one decision that changed everything? That one encounter that felt destined? These are not accidents. These are breadcrumbs. The soul leads through resonance, through symbols, through that feeling that says, This matters, even if I don't know why yet. But here's the question. Are you listening? Or are you too busy looking for proof to follow the path that only your heart can hear? To follow your soul is to let go of needing a reason. It's to move forward not because it makes sense, but because it feels aligned. Most people won't understand it. They'll call you crazy, irresponsible, unrealistic. But the ones we call mystics, prophets, visionaries, they all walk this path. Rumi once said, "Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you." That's what the soul asks for, surrender. It doesn't mean giving up. It means giving in to that quiet pull, to that deeper knowing, even when your mind is screaming in fear. Because here's the truth. The soul doesn't care about safety. It cares about growth. It will pull you away from what's familiar and toward what's true. And if you have the courage to follow, life begins to align. Doors open, the right people appear, the right words find you, not because you forced it, but because you trusted it. But let's be honest. Following your soul won't always feel magical. Sometimes it feels like falling apart. Sometimes it feels like everything is being stripped away. Because the soul doesn't just guide you, it refines you. It will lead you through loneliness, silence, darkness, not to break you, but to reveal you. Look at the stories of transformation across time. Buddha left his palace. Jesus wandered the desert. Jung descended into the depths of his unconscious. All of them followed an inner pull, and it cost them everything they thought they were. Why? Because before the soul can lead you forward, it must free you from everything you're not. This isn't punishment, it's purification. You will be misunderstood. You will be tested. You will be stretched beyond what you thought you could bear. But on the other side is not just peace. It's truth. The truth of who you are and why you came here. Then one day, without realizing it, you look back and see the path. It was never random. Every detour, every heartbreak, every moment of silence, it was all part of the unfolding, because the soul doesn't make straight lines. It makes spirals. It takes you in circles until you're finally ready to see the pattern, and when you do, you realize something staggering. You were never lost. You were being led, not by logic, not by chance, but by something ancient, something sacred, something you. You didn't find your path, you became it. So now the invitation is this. Stop asking for a sign. You are the sign. Stop waiting for certainty. Start listening to the part of you that already knows. The path is not out there, it's in here. Your soul has always known where you're going. Now, the only question left is, will you trust it? What if the map you've been desperately searching for is already written within you? Not in your mind, not in your plans, but in something deeper, older, eternal. There is a compass inside you. But it doesn't point north. It points inward, toward the life only you are meant to live. And yet most of us ignore it. We chase timelines and titles. We obey fear disguised as logic. We trade wonder for certainty. And in doing so, lose the trail our soul laid out before we even arrived. You felt it. In quiet moments when the noise dies down, a strange pull, a whisper that says, "This isn't it." Or, "This is everything." The truth is simple and unsettling. You are not lost. You are being led, but only if you dare to listen. Long before the modern world made GPS a god, ancient civilizations trusted something far more mysterious, the inner knowing of the soul. The Egyptians believed in the Ba, a unique spiritual essence that carried one's destiny beyond death. In the East, the Vedic concept of Dharma defined not just a role, but a soul's natural flow, the cosmic path only you can walk. And among indigenous cultures, shamans spoke of soul paths chosen before birth, destinies remembered through dreams, symbols, and visions. To them, life wasn't a guessing game. It was a remembering. These cultures didn't teach people to seek purpose. They taught them to reclaim it, like uncovering a forgotten truth buried beneath layers of noise and identity. Today, we think in terms of success and self-improvement, but they spoke of harmony, of alignment with the soul's unique rhythm. They believed, when you move with your soul, the universe moves with you. So how did we forget? It begins early. We're taught to trade intuition for instruction, curiosity for control, wonder for rules. We build identities from the outside in, collecting approval like currency, until we forget who we were before we were told who to be. The ego becomes our compass, but the ego doesn't guide, it guards. It's not designed to lead us toward expansion, only away from perceived danger. We ask our minds to make decisions the soul was meant to answer, and we wonder why we feel empty, even when everything looks right on paper. Psychologist Carl Jung called this the loss of individuation, the forgetting of the true self in favor of the collective mask. Plato warned us in the allegory of the cave. Most people live in shadows, mistaking illusions for truth. The soul, though, never shouts. It whispers. And in a world addicted to volume, silence is mistaken for absence, but the whisper is still there, waiting.